Hi there, today we're unboxing a Power over Ethernet dome camera. So this particular security camera, it's 4 megapixel and gives a 2K resolution. So let's have a quick look around the packaging. Very basic packaging, nothing too fancy, some details of the actual product on there and nothing beyond that. So let's have a look at what you get in the packaging. So first of all, a drill template, so you know where to drill when you're actually installing this. We've got like an Allen key type device. Looks like it's a security one with a sort of hex on there. We've got an Ethernet housing to sort of waterproof your Ethernet cable. Got some instructions, so a quick start guide and a CD on the back. Got some fixtures and the actual dome camera. Let's take that out. And anything else in there? Nothing else. Okay, so I've got all the items laid out here that you actually receive. Let's go through each one. So this is the actual sort of security key to actually open up the dome camera. So there's actually screw holes there and they fit that. Okay, obviously CD looks like it will fit into a normal CD-ROM. Fixtures seem okay. Let's open it up. It's nice they actually gave this. Didn't really think it would come with this. Okay, I think this sort of fits over this end. Okay, so the build of the actual water seal seems okay. Strong plastic, so that's good. Obviously the Ethernet cable goes in there and it can just lock onto here. Now it comes with a rubber seal and the rubber seal goes on this end if I show. Like so, and then this end obviously will hold the cable, so we can just put that there, and then that tightens up like so, and then you can just take it and it just provides the seal like this. Okay, so that seems quite good. Fixtures here, so 3 raw plugs and 3 screws. Interesting, it comes with a template. And it's a sticky template, which is quite useful. So obviously you can just stick it into place instead of messing around with things like sellotape and masking tape. So ideal. And drill your holes in and you're done. Let me show actually the instructions next. Okay, looks like it's all in English, so that's great. Let's look at the actual dome camera next. So, looks like if you unscrew the 3 screws here, this will come apart. And then with that off, you can attach the actual back plate to your wall. So I'll show this being done in a bit. Actual construction feels good. Good solid metal construction on there and feels like strong plastic. You've got an earth point there and obviously a small area the cable could go in and pop out. So you'd really want to put this in some sort of waterproof housing, or you could just have it tucked away so it's not too obvious to anyone. So the actual cable itself, obviously Ethernet on one side. So let me show. So power over Ethernet. So just there. And you've got a power point here if you wanted to have it working independently. So yeah, so far impressions are build quality seems very good. Quite looking forward to doing this one, as I've not seen any dome cameras which are 4 megapixel. Okay, so I thought I'd show how the installation of this dome camera is done. So you take your security key and loosen the 3 screws. So I've loosened them up to a certain point already. So just to speed this process up. Okay, Once the screws are loose, then you should be able to just pop off the top. The actual lid's kept in place with a bit of string just here at the side. The screws don't fall out, which is quite good. So obviously if you're up quite high and you're working on this, you're not going to accidentally drop this and lose any screws. Now the way to fix this is obviously take the cover off, place it in position and screw into the 3 locations and then place the top over it again. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing worth showing is the fact that you can actually adjust the position of the camera just downwards like so. So to be able to do this, you just loosen the 2 screws that are here. So one here. You don't have to take them out completely, just slightly. So that's enough. And then if I show you, it easily moves down. Let me show you a bit of a close-up of the components as well. Board there with some circuitry and cables going straight up into the camera. So obviously once you've positioned it, so I'll just leave it in this position for now. Just tighten it. So one of the things to note about these cameras, obviously you want to get the positioning right straight away, otherwise it just gets a bit fiddly, you know, constantly adjusting. Okay, just to note, there is a rubber seal going around here. So once you place the lid on there, you've got a tight, watertight seal on there. So when you line it up, just make sure you line it up with the actual screw holes there. Goes on. Just like so. And then simply enough, just tighten these up again. Okay, another thing I wanted to show is the actual bottom of the camera. So obviously the cable would go through there, or you could drill a hole into a soffit or in a brick wall just to get this cable going through it. That's probably the best way and tidiest way of doing it. But if you do use this method, just to show, I don't feel too comfortable with how tight this turn is. I should have put the wire in with a bit more of a, you know, bit of a curve on there, or just a bit more flexibility. So just to show, if I put my phone like that, there is a bit of a gap. So you could probably just force it and it will work, so no big deal. But just keep that in mind when you're installing this. And obviously, as it's a metal case, you've got earthing there as well if you want to attach an earth cable onto it. So there you go, a good solid construction, metal and sealed as well. Okay, so let's get this camera powered up. So if you look on the side of this and look at the actual power requirements for this, obviously power over Ethernet or this sort of power. So 12 volts, 0.5 amps. Now I've got a power supply that will actually supply that. So just to show, there you go. Now all I do, plug in the power here, point there, and put my Ethernet point into here, and then just plug it in. But before we do that, let me show you how to get the configuration software on your laptop or computer.
Okay, so I've powered on the dome camera, and the CD that actually came with the packaging, I've put it into my laptop. Now I've got presented with these 3 folders. Now the one I want to go into is application software, and this is the application we want to install. So sadptool.exe. So this is the discovery tool for the camera. Now obviously the camera's on at the moment, it's initialized, so hopefully this discovery tool should pick it up pretty quick. Okay, we've run the application and straight away it's picked up the camera. Let's select it. What's nice about the device, it doesn't come with a preset password, you've got to put one in straight away, so let's put that in. Okay, and we click activate. Okay, device is activated. Set security questions, we'll leave that out for now. These are the IP addresses, we can amend those, so we want to change that to 0 and that one to 230, and we'll change this one to 0, and we'll just put the password in. That allows us to make the change. So let's click modify, and instantly it's changed it in the discovery tool. So let's double click that. Now by default it opens it up in Microsoft Edge, but we don't want to use that. We'll use Internet Explorer. Let's go into that, and the username's admin. Let's type in the password now and log in. So initially, the first time you go in, it's gonna say to download and install the plugin to be able to view the camera. So let's click that, click run, install it, finish, and there you go. The camera's up and running. I'll just put my hand over it. You can see it working. Okay, so now we're in the actual camera. Let's go through the menu options. So first of all, you've got live view, you've got playback. So this will play back any recordings you've got. And then you've got picture and configuration. Let's step through the actual configuration options. So local, live view parameters, just briefly show that. Record size, picture and clip settings. So this is to record locally. System, device name, some basic details there. Maintenance wise, you can reboot it and restore it back to defaults. Authentication settings, user management, just got administrator in there for the moment. IP address, DNS, and Power over Ethernet. So this is an interesting one. I've already tested this one and plugged it in directly into my CCTV system. So my Anki system, and it's not powering up. So I think it really requires something like a Power over Ethernet switch, because it's not giving enough power out of it. So that's one thing to be aware of. So the actual device has ONVIF on there. So that's like an open protocol for CCTV. And with that enabled, if you configure it on your CCTV system, it will directly record onto there. So quite an advantage of having this. Okay, so video quality, you can take the resolution down if you want. This is actually 2K. And there's the image quality if you want to adjust the actual settings on there. Basic event, so you could actually enable motion detection, enable dynamic analysis for motion. You can blank out certain areas if you wanted to. So if I draw on the area, but let's leave it off for now. Storage, so it's set to continuously record every single day, so you can set certain periods you want it to record, and if there's just motion. Capture wise, it's set to nothing at the moment. So they're the basic settings. Okay, so let's go for the other piece of software that comes on the CD. So this is guardianexpert.exe. Let's double click that and go for the installation. Okay, so you've got client, storage server, and media, stream media server. Okay, So you're supposed to create a super user initially, so we'll just call it admin. I'll put in a password. Okay. Click close on there. Okay, so now we have the guarding expert installed. So if we go to device management, go to add new device type, and if you pick encoding device door station, just tick that, click OK, and then if you click on it, what you'll notice, it'll pick up your device down here. So if I click add to client, we can just call it, for example, camera 1. Click add. Okay, now we've got the camera installed. It's quite easy to actually display the picture. So if we go to control panel, main view, click on full screen, and there you go, it appears straight away. Click on one screen as well, and we've got some additional options down here. So we can stop the live view if we want to, or we can enable it again. There you go, quite straightforward to add in. Okay, so let me go through the menu options you have available in Guarding Expert. So you've got main view, so obviously that shows any cameras you have set up. You've got remote playback, that's if you've set up recording. So recording is actually on a PC, so your local PC. There's no actual SD card slot on this device, so you would be reliant on having a device recording. You've got alarm events, so this shows any events you've set up. So in theory, if I wave my hand over it, there you see, straight away it's popped up with an alarm, and the video information appears as well, so quite useful. Then we've got video wall, so you can add in all your different devices onto that if you wanted to. EMAP, not too sure what this one is, just move on. Security control panel, no options available on that one. Let's go back. Device management, I've already shown that, that's how you add in the camera. Okay, event management, this is where you can actually set up the alerting and motion detection. So I've enabled it, so I'll do it again. So in theory, if I go back to, let me show you, alarm event, you just see it pop up and it's flashing away saying there's actually some sort of alarm going off. So that's useful. Okay, so that's where you configure that. Alarm input, exception, zone event. Okay, next one, storage schedule. So this is the actual recording of it. So it says how you want it recording. You can actually set up certain time periods to record on. Okay, account maintenance, straightforward. Log search, that lets you see all the events that have been occurring. So I can even go back, just hit play. That's where I force the record to happen. Okay, and system configuration. Quickly click through these. That's where videos will be recorded, captures as well. There you go. Some alarm sounds, SMTP details, and video intercom. So obviously the whole point of this particular application is to allow you to actually turn your PC into a NVR, so a recording device. So more of a standalone sort of system that you'd link in with this. So you'd have to have a computer on all the time to be able to sort of capture these events. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to set up the dome camera so you can view picture directly onto your smartphone. So you go to the Discovery tool, you select your camera, click Enable Guarding Vision, type in your password and click Modify. Now once that's done, just double click that to connect to the actual device, or just go to your web browser and connect. And then from there you'd go to Configuration, Advanced Settings and Platform Access, and just ensure this is enabled. Once that's enabled, you should be able to move on to installing the app on your phone.
Okay, so next let's install the app from the Play Store. So if I open up the Play Store, that's the app we're looking for. So Guarding Vision, click install. Okay, so now it's installed. Let's open up the app and select our country. So we're in the United Kingdom. Okay, and then need to log in. So if you're not registered, you'll have to register. So let me register and then I'll put my details in. Okay, so I've logged in to the app, and next thing we want to do is add a device. So once I've clicked that, it's now wanting a QR code. So let me just do that off camera. Okay, so looking on the actual app here, the Guarding Expert app, so we can see our camera here, and the QR code can be obtained by obviously selecting it and clicking QR code. So once I click that, I just take my phone straight over it and scan it in. So let me do that off camera. Okay, so once the camera's scanned in, you'll see it appear like so. You'll see the IP address in there. So I can click it and click add. So it's added the camera in, and we should be able to click it there, and there you go. There's the actual vision on the camera. So let me place my hand over it so you can see it working. Pretty simple to do. Now I've had a play around. So far I haven't been able to get it working remotely, so let me try once more just to sort of demonstrate. There you go, it just gets stuck. So I'm not sure what the deal with that is. But yeah, probably more fiddling around with ports and things just to sort of give it access. But on your own Wi-Fi network, it does work. Okay, so you've seen the unboxing of this dome camera. You've seen how it can be installed. A bit disappointed it didn't come with an SD card holder within it, but I overcome that one thinking obviously I could just connect it to my NVR, which is the actual network video recorder. So my NVR actually has power over Ethernet built in, so I was expecting this to work straight over that, so by connecting into that and the other end into my NVR, but it didn't seem to work. So there is a configuration on there to actually enable power over Ethernet, but that didn't make any difference. So I did have a fiddle around with it, but it didn't help. So what I'm thinking is perhaps there wasn't enough power going to it. Now I did have the Ethernet plugged in and power plugged into there as well. So it was powered at one point. So I think to get it going over power over Ethernet, you'd probably need a power over Ethernet switch. Probably gives out more of an output in terms of voltage. So that's one thing. The other thing is actually connecting it to my NVR. So this device, it does say it supports ONVIF. So that's an open protocol for CCTV. And I did enable it and I connected it to the NVR, but you know, I just couldn't get it going. You know, it was connected directly onto it, but even by setting the IP address, username, password, and the port, and just ensuring ONVIF was selected, it just wouldn't work. So not often I give up on these things, but in this instance I had to really. I couldn't really pursue it anymore. In terms of actually functionality, it worked off an app that comes with it. So you saw that in action. So it works quite well with that, but not really the sort of usage I wanted for it. In terms of remote access as well, I did struggle with that as well. So I did get it going, connecting to my phone, but again, I couldn't get it going remotely. Picture quality wise, it was very good. I was very impressed at that. It was crystal clear and very sharp image on there. But yeah, I think it could be an instance where I just struggled with this particular one, but seems a good build quality. Just a shame I couldn't get it working in my current environment. So there you go. I hope it's helped anyone sort of trying to use this system or decide on buying this system. I think maybe could be my personal setup, but probably worth persevering with it, only because the picture quality is very good on this. So if you do get it working, it'll be nice to hear from anyone who does manage to get this going. So just drop me a note in the comments below, and I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. And thanks for viewing, and don't forget to like and subscribe.